Hello guys, happy morning everyone, and this is Priya, your English teacher from Alpha Group of Institutions. And children, we have discussed lesson 5 from English literature book in the last session. That is what The King and I, which you are looking at now. Isn't it children? What we have learned in that last session? Do you have any idea what we have discussed in the last session about the king? Come on, let us check what is there. It is like the whole story is based on the life and experience of Anna Leonowens. Anna Leonowens is a white woman who came to the kingdom, that particular kingdom, to take the position as a governess to take care of the children of King of Siam. Okay. And when the lesson started the last time, what we had discussed in this is that a lady from Singapore, she came in a steamer which had anchored at Bangkok. And in that steamer, in that ship, a lady named Anna Leonowens reached that particular palace, and she was really astonished by looking at the magnificent, beautiful palace, like by looking at the great structure of the palace where the King Siam has lived. Okay, so that year was 1862 and her name was what? Anna Leonowens. And here she came for taking up the position of a governess to take care of the children. And when she met the king proudly said that he was having, I have 67 children, and he felt proud in that, and he showed that proudness in his voice, and he just introduced himself to the Anna Leonowens. And now here Anna Leonowens was just structurizing, just looking at the king's physical appearance. The king's physical appearance was, he was looking like very thin little man, and he was covered with a gold cloth. And when he was sitting in a cross-legged in his chair, like when he was sitting on his throne, sitting cross-legged and also covered with a gold cloth, and he is even looking very thin and short, right? He was just resembles like a golden grasshopper whose eyes were like staring very keenly towards Anna, the English woman, because she was the one who is standing in front of him. And this person is a very cruel person, very rude person, heartless person, who the king. And he is really, his character is very evil, and he always wants to prove his strength by showing his cruelty towards the people. Okay, and he always feels that whatever he thinks, that should have been done. Okay, now Anna's turn. First the king introduced himself as he has 67 children. Now Anna's turn. Anna was introducing herself. Anna introduced herself to the king as well as to the audience, because she met the king directly in the court, and in front of all the audience she was introducing herself. Who are there in the audience? Like a nobleman, a group of noblemen are there, and also on the other hand, so many slaves, servants who were sitting on the floor bending their heads, because in that palace, there is a rule that the servants must not even raise their heads to look into the king's eyes directly. They don't have any right to look at the king's eyes directly. So she noticed those one side, the noblemen, other side, these servants sitting on the floor just bowing their heads down. Now, Anna also wants to express her respect towards the king, because she came there to work for the king, right? So she also tried to balance her body structure, physical structure, in order to represent herself as it is. She was indicating respect towards the king. So that is the explanation for the first slide, guys. Now the second thing, this is the one. Here the picture of the king is there. This is the young white woman, Anna Linevans. These are the servants who were sitting on the floor, just standing, grouped near the floor, bending their heads, bowing their heads. Okay. When king asked, how old are you? Anna replied as, because Anna don't want to reveal her age because the ladies will not to be like directly to say directly, the ladies were not allowed to say their age in public. But Anna can't resist the king's question. So she said that I am 150 years old, sir. And she also said that she was born in the year 1712. Even though the king knew that Anna was telling lies, but he was very happy and he felt delighted by seeing her reply because she answered him immediately with bold and courageous spirit. She did not give any negative answer by saying that I must not say my age. Rather than that, she gave another thing where the king also was unable to request her. And now, the same way the king was throwing rapid questions on Anna, when he was throwing so many questions towards her, some of the questions she answered very courageously, and for some of the questions she was unable to answer. But somehow the conversation has finished. And one day even while she was answering the questions, she made a quest that she want a young woman. She saw a young woman that she want to save that girl. So she asked the promise. She asked the king to promise if she does all those works perfectly, that king has to release that young girl. He also promised her that he will do that, but later one day he killed tortured that girl and executed just in front of Anna's window. Just only to show that he can give the promise and he has dare and right enough to break that promise and nobody is there to question him. And in order to show his power and strength, he just tortured that girl and executed in front of everyone. So that is how he was proving his authority. And another occasion, when Anna got appointed and one day with king's permission, when she went for a walk in the streets, she found herself in front of a courtyard. She just found herself walking she was walking in a way, but somehow she managed and went into a wrong turning. And there she found a woman who was sitting chained. She was chained, like imprisoned there. And also on the other hand, even though she was imprisoned, like she was chained, she was just nursing a small child. And that lady was looking very weak, ill, and she was really helpless sitting alone. So Anna went there, sat with that lady and spoke with her. After some conversation, Anna understood what had happened to her and the sad story behind that woman who was chained in that ground. Okay. Till this we had discussed in the last session, right guys? And the next slide. She was called Elor. She was called Lor and had been a slave when a rich Indian merchant had seen her, fallen in love with her, bought her freedom and married her. So this lady about whom we were speaking she was called Lor and her name is Elor, and she had been a slave when a rich Indian merchant. This lady was been as a slave in a house. One day, a rich Indian merchant came there, and when he saw her, he fell in love with her and he married her. He bought her freedom from that house because she was just treated as a slave, like a maid, right? So by marrying that lady, this Indian merchant brought her freedom. Now let us see. But her former mistress was an evil woman. She had the young woman kidnapped and brought to her house again. Then she was chained in the courtyard. Her child had been born, but still she was chained. She had been kept there like an animal for 4 years. So this lady was being as a slave in that house, right? When an young merchant, Indian merchant came there, he saw her, he fell in love with her and he married her. Later she was freed from that house being a slave and she was become like a queen for her own house. But the house where she worked, that owner is there, right? The head of the house. That lady was an evil. Evil in the sense she was a cruel, bad woman. So because of her bad character, even though this girl went away with a man marrying, this lady arranged people to kidnap Lore again, and they kidnapped that lady and again they brought her back to that house. See what had happened. They kidnapped that Lore and again brought back to the house. Even though she was married, they forcefully kidnapped and brought her. And from that day onwards till 4 years, for whole 4 years, this lady has been chained. She had been chained. And a baby was also born. A child was also born. Even though the child was born, this lady was still chained. And she was treated like an animal for the whole 4 years. This is a sad story of that lady who was chained there. At once Anna went to the king. She found him in a good mood and he took steps to free Lore. At once Anna went to the king. She found him in a good mood and he took steps to free Lore. Okay guys, it's not the former slave was restored. The former slave was restored to her overjoyed husband. Their son had been called Sorrow, but they now changed his name to Free. Because of this and other similar acts, Anna was called White Angel by the people. So when Anna came to know the story of Lore, she was just waiting for a king's good mood. When she found that king was in a good mood, at that time she just used her trick to change king's mind. For what? To free that lady who was chained there. To free the lady Lore. And as the king was in a good mood and was ready to accept whatever they are just requesting him, the king also said okay to free Lore. And now this former slave who was being like a slave since 4 years, now she was freed and she was sent and reunited with her husband. Now she was really happy to be united with her husband and they had a son, right? 4 years. And that son's name was Sorrow because he was born when his mother was chained. So his name was Sorrow. And now his name was changed and that name was Free. So that lady's son's name changed from Sorrow to Free. Why? Because now he is having a free life and a happy life. That is why his name also changed. And because of these good deeds, because of these good actions, because of Anna's good thoughts, Anna was also named as White Angel. She was called White Angel by the people living there. Okay. Now, eventually, Anna returned home to England. The king died soon afterwards. Although she had sometimes made him listen to her, he died as he had lived a cruel and heartless tyrant. But Anna's teachings has had some influence in Siam all the same. The new king was one of her former people. He reigned for almost 30 years wisely and kindly. He built hospitals and schools all over the country. He did his best to abolish slavery. He brought about great reforms. When he visited London, he met Anna again and told her that he based his work on what she taught him when he was a small boy. So Anna was appointed as a governess to look after the children from all over the country. Right? The king said what? That he was having how many children at the beginning? He was saying that he was having so many children, and also he was saying very proudly, right, that he was having 67 children. So Anna was governing all the children. So after her period of work, she returned England again. So Anna came from England in a Singapore ship, right? Again after her work, she went to the England back. After some years, the king died. Even though Anna had made him to do many good things, whenever the king was in a good mood, Anna used that mood and utilized that particular thing to save the people, to make many good things available for the people. But even though whatever she has done and she had made that king also to do good deeds, this king died as he lived. He lived as a cruel and heartless idiot, right? In the same way, when he was dying, he died like that cruel person only. But Anna's teaching, she taught so many children in that country, right? Wherever she taught, all the children became a very good citizens because they were grown up under Anna's teachings, right? Anna's lessons. So when the king died, one of the person from Anna's group of students took that position as a king. And when he sat on the throne of the king, he always used to follow Anna's instructions which she taught him in the earlier. For almost 30 years, this new king ruled the country very wisely and kindly by giving all sorts of good deeds to the people. This new king also built hospitals and schools all over the country, and he also did his level best to eradicate, to just deprive the slavery system. He made all the people, like he allowed all the people to treat equally rather than just differentiating between the noblest and the maids, right? So these are the things, everything what the king does only because of the Anna's teachings. So when this king, whenever he visits London, he used to meet Anna. And one day when he visited London, he met Anna and told her that he was doing all the things whatever Anna taught, and he was doing for the people. He was serving the people what Anna taught him when he was a small boy. And this is the thing, the famous musical play, The King and I. It means the story, the play, The King and I is truly based on the Anna's life in Siam. This is how Anna's life and experience, how she reflected, influenced and made other people also implement their good things between themselves, and how she trained the other children to abolish the slavery. Right? These are the good deeds what she had done in that country. And this is why this musical play is called The King and I. And this is purely based on whose life? Anna's life in that particular country. Means Anna's life in Siam. So that's all, children. With this, we had completed the lesson part. Lesson 5, the king and I is over. Now let us look into the book back exercises. Now open page number 25, guys. Page number 25. Okay, if you see the language part, there is a Roman. Now open textbook page number 25. Let us do the book exercises.
Yes, here A Roman is fill in the blanks by changing the words given in the brackets to abstract noun. One has been done for you. So here the words are given in this bracket. We have to change these words and form these words into an abstract noun which is suitable for these sentences. Okay, children, before changing the words into abstract noun, let us know what is meant by abstract noun. Guys, abstract noun means it is a noun which refers, which indicates, which denotes one's emotions, feelings, ideas, or the quality. When we need to express the emotion or quality or ideas of us or someone, the words which we use is called abstract noun. Simply to say, abstract noun or the words which we can't see with our eyes. Feeling, can we see? No. Emotions, anger, happiness, sad, shouting, thrilled, excited. Can we see all those things? We can't see. Such type of things are called abstract nouns. In order to segregate, categorize the abstract noun words, we can just say that which we cannot see or which we cannot hear, which we cannot touch or smell or taste. For example, if I am angry, can you see that angry except without my face? You cannot. This is a word of my emotion, but there is no such a thing with the name of angry. Thing which we can hold, we can't hear it, we can't touch it, we can't smell it. Only the emotion which we are naming, which the reaction in our faces is called angry, right? The same way, the same thing, the which cannot perceive with one of your five senses. What are the five senses of a human being? Seeing, hear, touch, smell and taste. These are the five senses. All these five senses which cannot be worked, which we cannot use this in such a word, is called abstract noun, right? Slave means a person who is made to work laboriously, and to the person who is working under someone laboriously, that sort of work is called slavery. The name is given for that. We cannot touch or feel or see or taste the slavery, right? That is the thing. And what all the things comes under the abstract nouns? Feelings. Feelings means what? Happiness, stress, sympathy, showing pity on someone. And the state of being, like here the second sentence is freedom, luxurious life. He is a kind person. He is a miser person, right? All these all these comes under states. And emotions, no, anger, hate, joy, happiness, sorrow, all these comes under emotions. Quality, he is a courage person, bold, he is a patience, being patient, and generosity, kindness, being honest, truthfulness. Such type of quality, a word which is used to qualify a person, is called abstract noun. And concepts like democracy, opportunity, getting comfort, all this also comes under abstract noun. Moments. Moments means some happy moments or sad moments like birthday celebration, marriage, like send off party, career, death, childhood days, olden days, all these times, these moments also, the period of time, that period also represents abstract noun. So what are the examples for abstract nouns? Those are feelings, emotions, states, qualities, concepts, moments, and also ideas. of ones. So these all comes under abstract. He tried to, come on children, take the pencil. When I am telling itself, you have to write the answer. He tried to stop the practice of dash slave. Here the name slave, noun. Slave is a noun. This noun we have to change into an abstract noun. So slavery, right? Next, 5 fat Frenchmen fought for French's freedom. Free becomes freedom. Now, he was impulsive because of his youth. Young becomes youth. Write down children, write the answers. Next, the dash laugh of the children could be heard even in the distance. Laugh becomes laughter. So I have written only 4 for you. The remaining things you have to do it as in today's activity. Understood guys? So first 4 I have done for you along with the answers. You copy these answers and the remaining questions you have to answer. You have to find the right answer and also fill the blanks. If you want to recheck or correct, the answer key will be given along with the classwork content. You can recheck by checking into that answer key which was given along the PDF. Okay guys? Hope you have finished now. The second B Roman. Fill in the blanks using the appropriate form of the verbs given in brackets. Fill in the blanks using the appropriate form of the verbs given in brackets. So, here some of the words were given in the brackets, here also as they have given here. Now we have to change in the verb forms. Verb forms means what? Verb 1, verb 2 and verb 3. Okay guys. Now, it dash yesterday. Rain. Yesterday means what? Past. They didn't give any had or have something, right? It dash yesterday. So it is simple past tense. It rained. Third form of the verb is what? Rain. It rained yesterday. I realized that I dashed the wrong decision. I realized. Ed comes, it means it is in the past tense. When it is in the past tense, take changes into took. I realized that I took the wrong decision. I wonder whether you could lend me your car. So, the another form of the verb is also wonder. There is no other forms for this wonder verb. So, I wonder whether you could lend me your car. I buy this pen in Paris. I buy this pen. This will be in simple past tense. So, buy becomes bought. I bought this pen in Paris. Here S is not there, children. Okay. Fifth one, the professor dash his class. The professor teach his, here nothing is representing the past tense or future tense. So it is in the current situation. Now we are going to add is B form, right? The professor is teaching his class. Next one, he dash on an elephant in the procession. Right changes into rode. He rode on an elephant in the procession. So these are the textbook exercises which we had already worked out in this PPT children. The remaining questions you have to fill it and then check the answers for the key. Later you take a snap and post it in the group. Don't forget to post it in the group. I hope you're all obeying my instructions. So please listen to your teachers. Okay. Finish it off. And then understand it first. Later you complete it, take a snap and send it in the group. And not the classwork content guys. And next thing. The next exercise. Sometimes we say the same thing in different ways. Read the 2 sentences. Sometimes we say the same thing in different ways. Read the 2 sentences. I was astonished when the monkey winked back. To my astonishment, the monkey winked back. Look here, children. I was astonished when the monkey winked back. It means the meaning is when the monkey winked back, I was really surprised. See the second sentence. To my astonishment, the monkey winked back. Here also the meaning is the same thing. He felt surprised when the monkey winked back. So the meaning is the same, but the sentences are different. The way of forming the sentences are different. The same way in the C Roman, they will be giving the question here, and we have to change the sentence in another different way without changing the meaning of the sentence. The meaning should be same, but the sentence, the formation of the sentence should be in a different way. So we can take help of the first sentence and create a new sentence without changing the meaning. Follow the example given above and rewrite the following sentence. It means by taking this example, we have to rewrite by taking the questions and rewriting the answers. First one, she was delighted when she saw her brother win the first prize. It means she was very happy when she saw her brother won the first prize. Now look the change, another way of changing. To her delight, she saw her brother win the first prize. Look, when I'm using the same delight word, I'm using to her delight. To her delight, she saw her brother win the first prize. The same way, second one, I was greatly relieved when it stopped raining. I was greatly relieved when it stopped raining. It means she was really feeling free, relief when it stopped raining. And the answer is, here also I am using the same word. To my great relief, it stopped raining. So the meaning didn't change. Only the formation of the sentence only differs, right? To my great relief to my great relief, it stopped raining. Now guys, copy this answer in your textbook, and the remaining questions, for the remaining questions you have to answer and then recheck with the key. Take a snap and post it in the group. If you are having any doubt regarding this, feel free to call me and clarify your doubt. So with this session, we are going to end the whole lesson. Means with this session, we had completed lesson 5, the king and I, everything fully. We have completed the lesson king and I along with the classwork content. I hope everybody have finished. From next week itself, don't forget to submit your classworks for correction. And if the grammar is taught, you have to submit the grammar book also, children. And thank you for being with me. Stay safe, obey your teachers and parents, and be a very good child. Okay. Thank you guys. Thank you. And this is Priya signing off from Alpha Group of Institutions. Bye guys.